Imagine discovering a medieval body over 700 years old that still harbors liquid blood. This haunting thought challenges our understanding of decay and the relentless march of time. How could a man, laid to rest in an era devoid of modern preservation technology, defy centuries of natural decomposition? Picture the scene. It's akin to stumbling upon an ancient riddle, waiting patiently beneath the earth to have its secrets eloquently unraveled. This enigma is not unlike the discovery of Ötzi the Iceman, a natural mummy over 5,000 years old, unearthed from the icy embrace of the Alps. Both finds defy the expected processes of decomposition, urging us to ponder the environmental or perhaps deliberate techniques employed to hold decay at bay. In the spring of 1981, archaeologists uncovered a startling discovery amidst the scenic beauty of St. Bees, a remote village characterized by its rugged northern English landscape. Here, amid rolling landscapes and ancient stone cottages, nature seemed to harbor whispered secrets from over 7 centuries past. This discovery beckoned scientists and historians alike, urging them to peel back the layers of time that had kept these mysteries shrouded and guarded by the very earth itself. The sense of awe mirrors the experience of the Talland man's discoverers in 1950, whose lifelike appearance belied the thousands of years he lay buried in a Danish bog. Like Ötzi, who was mistaken for a recent mountaineer by startled tourists, these moments highlight the recurring motif of the past reaching out to the present. Beneath the tranquil surface of the Street Bees countryside, the remains of a meticulously preserved medieval man were revealed, enveloped in a lead coffin. This lead shell, both practical and symbolic, cradled a body that seemed to exist in defiance of the passage of time, preserved as if time itself had been held at bay. The conditions mirror those of the bog bodies like the Talland man, whose anaerobic peat environment preserved his body so well that it was initially mistaken for that of a recent victim. Both cases compel us to explore the symbiotic relationships between man, burial practices, and the natural elements that conspired to preserve their stories against the odds. The choice of protective materials, including the unlikely union of lead and pine resin, not only aided in preservation but speaks volumes to the medieval comprehension of decay prevention. Lead, a material with strong protective qualities, paired with the aromatic and protective properties of pine resin, suggests a sophisticated appreciation for these elements. These materials may have served dual purposes, embracing the deceased in both a spiritual and practical sense, suggesting foresight knowledge intertwined with religious ritual. Just as bog environments like Lindau moss preserved organic material through the acidic tannins of sphagnum moss, we are reminded of how different environments leverage natural chemical preservation strategies. The occurrence of liquid blood, surviving the ravages of time, serves as both an enigma and a focal point for scientific inquiry. This unusual preservation element raises questions about the potential role of environmental or mortuary conditions that maintain such a state. Modern scientists grapple with this anomaly, examining whether it results from exceptional circumstances or an ancient art lost to history. The preserved nature of Talland man and similar bog bodies also challenges our perspectives on how natural environments can arrest decay, disrupting normal biological processes in ways that still baffle scientists today. The preservation of St. Bees man fuels debates about the role of nature versus human intention. Was this a fortunate act of environmental conditions aligning perfectly to delay decay, or a carefully devised plan of preservation by his kin, utilizing the best available knowledge of their time? The rugged cliffs of St. Bees, having withstood the test of time, serve as a reminder of nature's majestic power and its uncanny ability to cradle history's secrets. This echoes the ambivalence surrounding the preservation of individuals like Lindau man, whose surviving artifacts and body transport us back to another era, bridging nature's handiwork with human presence. Scholarly interpretations lean towards possible intentional enhancements steeped in medieval ritual, suggesting that these preservation methods were deliberate, embodying an interplay of spirituality and early scientific principles. This perspective urges us to explore the tapestry of medieval rites, the symbolism of their materials, and the deep belief systems that may have informed these practices. Might the choices of pine resin and lead represent a practical wisdom grounded in both faith and science that has eluded our understanding until now? As with the Teutonic Order's meticulous preparations for the Northern Crusades, where ritual and religion entwined deeply with personal and societal motivations, this highlights how faith and science often shared kindred paths. In our modern age, the mysteries of St. B's man are revisited through the powerful lens of science. Techniques such as radiocarbon dating and material analysis illuminate these mysteries, offering insights inaccessible to those who discovered the body. These methods allow us, centuries later, to reconstruct the past with unprecedented fidelity, casting light on a time when understanding the world was bound by both belief and budding science. Such as with the discovery of medieval weaponry or the exploration of the Teutonic Order's relics. These efforts reflect a continuum of inquiry, a relentless pursuit to map the unknown. The legacy left by the St. B's man extends beyond the confines of archaeological study. It is a profound narrative illustrating humanity's endeavor to understand the mystery of life itself. Each discovery like this expands our perception of the human experience, prompting future inquiries that further bridge our knowledge of the past with an evolving present. These treasures feed our relentless curiosity, charting a path for those who, like us, will seek answers in the echoes of our days. Echoing similar sentiments found in the accounts of the Northern Crusades, where the clash of cultures and ideas paved the way for New Age dialogues and reconciliation. This narrative serves as a reminder of history as a dynamic catalyst. This astounding revelation, the enigma of the medieval knight with liquid blood, invites us deeper into the mysteries of preservation over the centuries. What truths does this tomb conceal that could upend our fundamental understandings of time and decay? Each ancient artifact uncovered seems to unlock a doorway to a past where life was governed by the unpredictability of the sword and the solemnity of the word. As we delve into the enigma of the St. B's man, we grapple with questions that stretch the limits of our knowledge and imagination, questioning what further secrets lie dormant beneath the layers of history. Like the Northern Crusades, where each campaign opened new frontiers both territorially and culturally, the riddle of St. B's extends a similar quest for uncharted knowledge. Upon discovery, the St. B's man presented a unique puzzle. His blood, still liquid, hinted at a life abruptly halted by violence. The presence of a hemothorax suggests blood trapped within the chest, a potential aftermath of a violent encounter. What could this tell us about the violent nature of medieval conflicts? To picture his final moments, we must journey back to the heart of a medieval battlefield, with its clashing swords, knights clad in heavy armor, and the tumultuous din that echoed across the landscape. This image offers a visceral understanding of the precariousness of life in those chaotic times where the sound of steel was the harbinger of fate. The Northern Crusades, with their relentless campaigns and impactful battles, reflect similar themes of conflict and chivalry. The question of identity lingers. Is the St. B's man indeed Sir Anthony de Lucy? This identity is shrouded in speculation, pieced together via fragments of evidence that are more whispers of possibility than solid fact. A family insignia, remnants of armor, or inscriptions might sketch out a lineage or fame, but they remain tenuous connections. Could the inscriptions reveal more than names, offering us a glimpse into the societal structures and personal stories buried in time? The past inched closer with every artifact examined, a puzzle begging to be completed as we untangle truth from lore. The exploration of the Teutonic Order's relics and regalia offers a similar quest for understanding identity within the historical narratives of the Northern Crusades. In our quest for understanding, scientific advancements propel us beyond mere conjecture. Comparative studies with other preserved bodies, like Ötzi the Iceman and Siberian permafrost finds, open new doors. Techniques from radiocarbon dating to genetic testing offer glimpses into the distant past, weaving together narratives only hinted at before. Imagine the care with which scientists probe ancient remains, their methodologies transforming decomposing matter into narratives of existence, reflecting the relentless march of human understanding against the silence of time. In examining Sir Anthony de Lucy, one might ponder how his participation in the Northern Crusades, a brutal and mystical chapter of medieval warfare, adds layers to his story. The connections between these crusades and his posthumous preservation might invite further inquiry. Could his fate be another chapter unwritten, yet linked to these religious and military conflicts? We draw parallels with notable cases where nature preserved human history, such as Ötzi and Siberian remains. These finds enrich our understanding of how environments exert invisible hands in mummification. Yet, the street bee's man remains unique. His blood's liquidity defies the commonplace, hinting at different preservation forces at play. The Baltic region where Sir Anthony crusade is marked by time-worn castles and war-touched landscapes. How do distinct climates result in similarly astonishing preserves? Each environment offers a stage for time's play, a unique crucible where organic material becomes a preserved narration. The marshlands and wooded battlegrounds nurtured tales of battles entwined with religious fervor, setting the scene for Sir Anthony's life and death on the Crusades' front lines. Turning our gaze to medieval burial traditions, we might glimpse unintentional preservation catalysts. Rituals intended to guide spirits might also have unknowingly guided the body's earthly preservation. Was it mere chance, or did specific customs during burials play a role in such preservation? Consider the somber echoes of the Northern Crusades, where Sir Anthony de Lucy encountered not only the clash of swords, but also the spiritual journey that knights embraced. Visualize somber medieval funeral rites, their solemnity underscored by chants, incense smoke, and grave care, their intent cloaked in mystery, as history silently watches. Each rite carried symbolism and purpose, interwoven with the spiritual beliefs of the time and perhaps colored by the knight's own experiences during the Crusades, where faith and struggle were inseparable. Lining up historical and scientific evidence, a pattern begins to emerge, a tapestry of existence punctuated by discovery. Each scrape, scratch, and snippet of data not only brings the past to current awareness, but also enriches it. In the current analysis of Sir Anthony de Lucy, the legacy of the Northern Crusades, with their diplomatic manipulations and echoes of religious zeal, is palpable. Historical narratives fold into scientific data, echoing a collaborative chorus of inquiry. Standing on the precipice of such wonders, we must deliberate on how to preserve the integrity of these tales, each one a silent chapter yearning for a voice in the annals of history. The stories from the Northern Crusades must not be disentangled from the preservation. The surreal presence of liquid blood, tangled with the lasting shadows of war from the medieval period, unveils a multifaceted narrative. Each revelation propels us forward, deepening understanding and branching into new inquiries. What absolutely drives this relentless pursuit? Perhaps it's the siren call of the bygone, whispering hidden stories, igniting a human yearning for connection, a constant dialogue across time's vast ocean. Such echoes of the Northern Crusades, cementing a warrior's faith with the sacrifice of blood, ripple through the ages and collect around Sir Anthony, preserved against time's decay. It invites us to ask the questions and ponder the responses held within the silent witnesses of history. As we delve deeper into the vast ocean of time, the silent witnesses of history surge forward to reveal their secrets. These remnants, forgotten by the march of centuries, bring us whispers from the past. Their voices, though muted by the sands of time, speak through time-stained artifacts and weathered manuscripts. Sir Anthony de Lucy's participation in the Northern Crusades enriches this narrative, being a direct thread connecting the medieval traveler's dreams of glory to his eventual fate. One such silent yet eloquent witness is Street B's Man, a figure whose existence transcends the conventional narratives of life and death, offering us a rare glimpse into a world long gone. As the sun sets over the ancient churchyard, transforming the skies with hues of orange and purple, we are drawn into the mysterious realm where the past and present murmur to each other. Known to us as Sir Anthony de Lucy, he was an English knight whose story is as compelling as it is unique. He perished in the year 1368, a victim of the unraveling tapestry of the Northern Crusades. These were not just military campaigns. They were spiritual quests embarked upon in pursuit of faith and power, mingling the religious zeal of the time with geopolitical maneuvering. His remarkable journey during these tumultuous crusades not only shaped his life, but intricately entangled his death, a transition that left a seemingly decaying world astonished centuries later when his body emerged astonishingly preserved. Sir Anthony's participation in the Northern Crusades was not just a personal endeavor, but a reflection of broader historical currents. These crusades were not only wars of conquest, but also conflicts steeped in religious fervor, where knights donned their armor as both warriors and pilgrims. His involvement reveals a web of intricate intersections of power, faith, and cultural exchange, all pivotal drivers of historical change. In writings from the era, we see not just a record of battles won or lost, but of the merging of worlds, narratives of newly encountered peoples, and the transformation of societies. Amidst the accounts of the Estonian and Latvian conquests by the German and Danish forces, Sir Anthony's presence marks another thread in the complex weave of history. His remains, safeguarded through preservation methods that were ahead of their time, incite both curiosity and admiration from historians and scientists today. This is not merely the protection of bones, but a sophisticated preservation of life's essence caught in stasis by the caprice of fate and the ingenuity of medieval techniques. The decision to encase his body in a lead coffin speaks of an understanding, perhaps even a reverence, for the permanence it could bestow, ensuring his memory would endure beyond the frailty of flesh. Encased in a lead coffin, a material chosen for its durability and protective qualities, Sir Anthony's body survived the ravages of time, seemingly untouched for centuries. This choice was strategic, perhaps intended as a defense against the ever-encroaching decay that claimed so many others prematurely. In the Middle Ages, when life was often brutishly short, such measures were extraordinarily rare, an assurance of remembrance that commanded respect and allowed future generations to glimpse medieval truths through physical continuity. As Sir Anthony lay preserved, the weight of the Northern Crusades and their promises of salvation and glory wove through his story, rendering his memory enduring against the tests of time. The climate of St. B's Priory, a fortuitous convergence of natural and human elements, provided a serendipitous environment for preservation. This convergence wasn't merely coincidental, but a harmony of conditions, ranging from the geographical location influencing climate patterns to the human decisions made at the time of the burial. Alongside unknown burial treatments, these factors preserved not just his physical form, but astoundingly, some elements of the blood, a discovery as rare as it is fascinating, offering insight into medieval practices that carved out paths for preservation sciences. Sir Anthony's faith-fueled travels during the Northern Crusades might have echoed through the peacefulness of this final resting place, where both nature and intent converged perfectly to preserve his legacy. Examining medieval burial sites across regions, one quickly notices a diversity of practices tempered by religious beliefs, local customs, and environmental conditions. Each grave acts as a kind of cultural tome encapsulating the mores and mysteries of its time. These stories are vibrant and complex, pointing towards broader narratives that define human history's rich tapestry. Sir Anthony de Lucy's grave, drawn from the crucible of the Northern Crusades' fiery exchanges, remains a singularly fascinating reflection of the era's traditions and transitions. Standing amidst these silent sentinels, we come to understand that these burials speak volumes of the societies that performed them, linking past aspirations and achievements directly to their modern rediscovery. The mysterious preservation of Sir Anthony raises vital questions. Not just how, but why was such meticulous effort made in his burial? What societal values underscored these elaborate preservation practices? These querying voices of modern scholars venture to uncover behind the lead and earth remnants, wondering if there may be yet undiscovered tombs that could further scandalize our understanding of medieval mortuary arts. Locked away beneath soil and time, these preserved secrets beg to be heard, offering echoes long silenced that now may articulate ancient truths. In a time when the Northern Crusades absorbed the energies of Western Christendom, the awareness of mortality was stark and present. The brutal battles, authorized by papal decree like the 1171 Crusade Bull by Pope Alexander III, demonstrated the ancient struggle to impose faith with rampant military force. It was a time of intense cultural collisions, where warriors like Sir Anthony, moved by visions of sanctified warfare, ventured into lands where religious identity stood at the crux of violent campaigns. In an era defined by wars that were as much spiritual endeavors as they were territorial expansions, the Northern Crusades were pivotal crossroads. For Sir Anthony, whose life was intricately tied to these decisive moments, we find an exemplar of the era's grand ambitions and ultimate shortcomings. The events swirling around his life were a mosaic, crafted from moments of triumph and tragic misstep, where each crusade carried the weight of souls marching under banners glowing with both faith and folly. The Teutonic Knights, founded around 1190, embodied this era of fervent crusading, their campaigns marked by both victories and profound losses, as seen in the repeated raids against pagan territories like those in the Prussian and Livonian regions. These crusades did not merely seek to conquer land, but aimed at a deeper transformation. Their legacy was one of changed religious landscapes, yet fraught with the harsh realities of forced conversions and enduring resistance. The intricate politics of the time were deeply entwined with the church and military campaigns. These endeavors aimed at the expansion of Christendom, but also inadvertently catalyzed a vast cultural exchange. As knights clashed swords and oaths with one another, they brought back with their victories not only territory, but also the tales, manuscripts, ideals, and innovations of places and peoples newly discovered. Figures like Sir Anthony became both warriors and unwitting ambassadors of cultural transmissions that took root within and beyond their homeland. Rallying under the banner of crusades, knights encountered diverse cultures on these erstwhile pagan shores, as the campaigns against the Estonians and other groups, sanctioned by the papal bull of 1171, show. It was in this complex tapestry of conquest and contact that new thoughts merged, leading to innovations that perhaps touched even the burial practices, like Sir Anthony's meticulous preparation for eternity. Through the meticulous study of remains like those of Sir Anthony, scientists and historians not only piece together the past, but delve into the rich tapestries of human connections, with power, belief, warfare, and mortality, elements as pertinent now as they were then. Each analysis contributes to an ever-growing mosaic, a reconstruction of times long past, yet vibrant in their continued impact on our current understanding of civilization. Like the bog bodies of Tolland and Lindau enfolded in ancient peat, these mysteries, buried in their ancient cocoon, whisper stories of survival amidst the ravages of time and the human attempt to impose permanence on the transient nature of life and death. Cases like that of this St. Bees man are rare, yet echo with a significance comparable to discoveries in the Siberian permafrost. They do more than recount the silence of death. They herald whispers of lives lived, battles fought, and legacies left. In these frozen snapshots, history is neither static nor fully extinguished, but vibrantly alive, urging each successive generation to listen and to learn before their vivid clarity is lost once again to time's voracious embrace. Even amidst the shifting borders of the Northern Crusades battlegrounds, like those contested lands of the Baltic, history preserved its own echoes, waiting to be uncovered, interpreted, and understood. In contemplating Sir Anthony, one is inevitably reminded of those silent landscapes, where time stands still yet pulses with the echoes of conquest and conversion wrapped in the cold, unforgiving grasp of legacy and relic. The narrative continues along the rugged coast of Cumbria. Here, in the quiet embrace of the windswept village of St. Bees, centuries of history murmur of forgotten legacies and unyielding curiosity. Beneath the sacred grounds of its ancient priory, mysteries awaited, nestled in silence through the turbulent tides of time. In this coastal village, as restless as the sea it borders, the life and intrigue of medieval society whisper persistently, calling for attention and exploration. As if echoing the expanse of the Baltic lands, where the military orders such as the Teutonic Knights ventured at great peril to enforce faith, the calm shores here guard their tales securely. Beneath these hallowed grounds, Sir Anthony de Lucy, a knight of the medieval era, lay undisturbed for centuries. His story is not just a chapter in history, but an echo through time, telling a tale of valor, faith, and unparalleled preservation. What conditions could keep him so well preserved through the ages? His burial was a silent testament to a life intertwined with historical events and the secrets they bequeathed to posterity. In a context similar to the preserved remains found in bogs, where organic molecules are so remarkably conserved, the unique environmental and burial condition of Sir Anthony allowed for unprecedented preservation, piquing historical inquiries and sweeping speculations into the practices and beliefs of his age. The lead coffin encasing Sir Anthony was a technological marvel of its time. Medieval practitioners, knowingly or not, utilized this costly craft to shield the body from the elements. The airtight seal created an anaerobic environment, a sanctuary against the microscopic forces of decay. One wonders at the ingenuity of those long-ago craftsmen who achieved such a feat. Perhaps it was an answer arrived at through necessity and chance, combined with a rudimentary understanding of preservation unwittingly mirroring that of future scientific endeavors. Mirroring strategies later identified in preserving bog bodies, where anaerobic, acid-rich conditions suspend decay. The craftsmanship in forging such a coffin was a triumph over time's inexorable grip. Cold and unforgiving, the climate of St. Bees added another layer of fortification. The naturally low temperatures served as nature's own preservative, like a refrigerated vault cradling the night in its icy embrace for over 700 years. Imagine the biting winds and harsh winters that swept the landscape, serving inadvertently as protectors of the past. This icy guardian ensured that what lay beneath would remain untouched by the hands of time. This natural preservation bears similarity to the environmental conditions necessary for bog bodies to remain largely intact, despite the ravages of time typically unleashed by unfriendly bacteria and fungi. The application of resin, reminiscent of ancient embalming practices, added yet another fortress against decay. This sticky substance, possibly inspired by whispers from Egyptian tombs, represents the exchange of knowledge that transcended geographies and generations. One cannot help but marvel at this melding of cultures across centuries and continents, knowledge shared and adapted in pursuit of triumphing over decay. The cross-cultural exchanges that left their mark on the Northern Crusades, a collision of the military and sacred, echo in these small but significant procedural adoptions, where both relics and rituals were lifted from distant lands, mirroring the mosaic of cross-cultural influences that knights like Sir Anthony might have encountered on their crusading journeys. Yet how did such knowledge travel from the desert sands to this small English shore known as Street Bees? While the name resonates with saints and serenity, it harbors secrets beneath the earth. How do cultures far apart in time and space influence the conservation of history? The Crusades were not just battles over land, but exchanges of ideas, technologies, and even burial practices, cultural dialogues that crossed mainland Europe along with the military aspirations westward. St. Bees, like the lands contested by the Teutonic Knights, became a repository of these diverse influences, its vaults and lead sarcophagi whispering stories of transfused knowledge and shared understandings from Egypt to the Baltic. Thus, a medieval alchemy of lead, cold, and resin preserved not just the body, but life itself, with liquid blood still found sealed within. A discovery so rare it compels us to ponder the limits of medieval understanding and the serendipity of chance. As researchers unraveled this mystery, the past seemed to pulse with newfound life once more, through the medium of modern science and curiosity. Like the bog bodies retained through millennia in the peatlands of Europe, St. Bees offers a testament to the ingenious and fortuitous intersections of nature, intent, and happenstance. This synergy, seen in the campaigns of the Northern Crusades, echoes across stories of conquest and learning, intertwined as indelibly as St. Bees' own remnants in the mists of northern lore. But what did the centuries between preservation and our modern investigation teach us? The enduring presence of liquid blood, an anomaly by any standard unique to this figure, challenges norms and laws of decay as we understand them. Could this unanticipated survival offer clues to unraveling other historical mysteries? This brings to mind unexpected preservation cases, like that of the Iceman, Ötzi, whose body was encased in glacial ice and remained incredibly well preserved since nearly 3350 BC. Each case offers a glimpse into past environmental interplay and potential revelations about ancient conditions. Furthermore, just as the discovery of Ötzi offered insights into Chalcolithic Europeans, our understanding of Sir Anthony's preservation might unlock new perspectives on medieval life and burial practices. Might there be parallels with the Talland man, who, although lost in a peat bog, told tales of both ritual and routine of Iron Age Scandinavia through his preserved form? Comparative cases also unveil fascinating parallels. From the woolly mammoths frozen in Siberian permafrost to Ötzi the Iceman, these cases present similar tales of emulation between environment and preservation, yet they are void of the intentional factors seen in Sir Anthony's case. In stark contrast, Sir Anthony's burial in a lead coffin reflects sophisticated medieval practices aimed at preservation, mirroring to some extent the preservation seen in bog bodies. These instances remind us that in the vast archives of our planet, different stories of preservation emerge, each with their own narratives and mysteries to tell. When we look at the conscious measures taken, such as bog rituals or sealing in lead, we can piece together cultural practices spanning vast geographical and chronological distances. However, why did this happen at St. Bees and not elsewhere? With the confluence of specific geographical and climatic conditions, what other ancient figures might be resting beneath our feet unnoticed due to similar serendipitous combinations? St. Bees stands as a silent sentinel of history's mysteries yet to be revealed. The role of local climate and soil composition can be seen in bog bodies where the nature of peat bogs creates perfect preservation conditions through acidic, anaerobic environments, a principle echoed in the conditions at St. Bees. Much like Talland man resting in his peat embrace, Sir Anthony's resting place may have capitalized on an inadvertent balance of moisture and decay-defying variables preserved over centuries. Sir Anthony's lifetime coincided with the Northern Crusades, a time when the clash and collaboration of cultures influenced every aspect of life and death. These crusades broadened horizons, bringing innovations back to England, the consequences of which were still rippling during his burial. These influences touched everything, from the ways wars were fought to how the deceased were laid to rest with reverence and ingenuity. As Sir Anthony may have partaken in campaigns against the Baltic pagans, similar to those carried out by the Teutonic Order, his burial might reflect these cross-cultural engagements. The campaigns like the Wendyish and Livonian Crusades were not merely about battles. They fostered exchanges that would trickle down into the practices of daily life, echoed in the methodologies surrounding death and interment of fallen knights. Could these exchanges and interactions have also affected Sir Anthony's last journey, one that took place not in battle but against the sands of time? Did the burial reflect political and spiritual complexities far beyond the reach of individual lives, but rooted in era-defining moments? In the midst of the Teutonic Order's brutal campaigns throughout the Baltic regions, knights like Anthony were influenced by these cultural and military shifts, which might have trickled down into the rituals surrounding his death and preservation. The questions linger much like those surrounding the purpose of the Talon man's hanging. Was it ritual, punitive, or something altogether different? In Anthony's case, the traditions from Crusades retained marks of reverence and strategy, perhaps a final expression of the era's profound impacts on culture and belief. The intermingling of these cultures particularly impacted burial customs, melding traditional respect for sacred rites with practical solutions from afar. The preservation of Sir Anthony exemplifies this cross-pollination of ancient wisdom and burgeoning medieval science. It was a time when tradition met innovation, weaving together a complex fabric of beliefs and practices grounded in both reverence and pragmatism. Similar to the innovations during the Wendyish Crusade and other Northern Crusades, his burial might integrate elements of these broader cultural exchanges. The Baltic Crusades, with their blend of faith and strategy, pushed knights into roles of conduits for cultural knowledge, one which Anthony embodied in death through the meticulous nature of his burial. Reflecting upon Street B's man, we are reminded that history is not always straightforward. It is a tapestry of mystery, innovation, and survival, awaiting those eager to listen to the silent whispers of the past. The preserved knight lies not just as a figure from history, but as a testament to the enduring curiosity and ingenuity of humankind. We, in turn, become keepers of these stories as we endeavor to unearth their truths. The story parallels the unique preservation scene in the Baltic Crusades where human intention and natural forces combined unexpectedly, expanding our understanding of historical preservation. What secrets lie in the stories of the dignified Lindau man or the enigmatic Talon man? Each body tells us not merely of their deaths, but of the world they lived in and the laws of nature that once shielded them from oblivion. Standing upon the tranquil shores of the English coast, the scene shifts to the heart of this tale, the secrets held within a medieval church. With every stone of its time-worn walls, history etches itself into the landscape as a reminder of bygone eras. Here, an astonishing marvel of nature's preservation rests, a testament to time's unpredictable embrace over 700 long years. This enigma of the Street B's man continues to defy our expectations about the processes of time and decay, urging us to listen closely to the stories yet untold amidst the rolling mist. A preservation similar in enigma to that of bog bodies, trapped by time and nature's unique chemistry. As nature's artists like Ötzi and the Talon man reveal climate's fingerprints, might not Sir Anthony expand our understanding of what we look for when we search the Earth's archives? In this sleepy coastal village, where history seems to be etched into every stone, we uncover a tale of unexpected preservation. Here, at St. B's, a body that defied the usual processes of decay, offers a window into a medieval world frozen in time. This discovery invites a deeper examination of the factors that preserved it despite the passage of centuries. What elements of time and nature granted this body such a curious defiance against decay? And what can we learn from this extraordinary example of natural preservation? This calls to mind Ötzi's preservation in the Alps and the bog bodies of Northern Europe, each adding to the puzzle of our past. Might the study of Sir Anthony help us reevaluate environmental influences, defying the easy cataloging of history's vast tales? The body discovered here, remarkably intact and showing no signs of embalming, stands as a testament to natural forces. It suggests that sometimes, nature's nurturing grip surpasses the reach of human techniques and intentions. What elements of the environment came together in this unforeseen synergy? This natural preservation technique might lead us to reconsider the methods known throughout archaeological science. Consider the intersection where human history and natural conditions meet to create a time capsule, sealed from and untouched by the intervening ages. Was it the unique composition of the soil, a balance of moisture, or perhaps the complete isolation from aerobic bacteria within the lead coffin that contributed to this astonishing state? Understanding these environmental factors could redefine our perception of medieval burial practices. Can our exploration of this naturally preserved marvel inspire new methodologies in the quest to unravel the mysteries held within ancient burials? Echoes of Ice Age preservation tropes return to us in forms like peat bogs, where Talon man preserved a bygone northern spirit, whispering forgotten stories. Imagine the moment in 1981 when archaeologists uncovered this medieval enigma. The anticipation, the careful brushing away of soil to reveal the centuries-old casket, marks a dramatic reveal where history meets the present with a whisper of mystery. How must it have felt to witness the discovery of a human form undisturbed by time's usual ravages? What thoughts ran through the minds of those who first laid eyes upon a body so intriguingly preserved? Similar to the surprising discovery of Ötzi the Iceman, this unearthing opens up questions about our past and the intertwining of history with the natural world. What revelations might arise from the depths of humankind's untold visage, as was deciphered from the creases of Talon man's serene, lifelike features? Consider the mystical interplay of climate, materials, and the man they enveloped, encapsulating an age since past. The shroud, coated with a resin, wraps a truth locked away from time's ravages, echoing mysteries and marvels of an era where every preservation held a story waiting to resurface. The shroud itself stands as both a physical and metaphorical guardian, maintaining the mystery and integrity of the body beneath it. How do the materials used in crafting such a burial practice offer insight into the period's beliefs about life, death, and the afterlife? Examining the resin and fabric composition may reveal not only technical knowledge but also cultural values, emphasizing their reverence for the departed. In what ways might these burial artifacts serve as a bridge, revealing deeper connections between past funerary customs and present archaeological insights? The patient threads of history await us like the unwritten tales in Lindau man's peat-stained burial robes. The body of St. B's man was wrapped in a shroud imbued with resin, a practice akin to natural mummification seen in the permafrost of Siberia. This delicate blend of cloth and resin created a protective embrace, preserving the body's essence for centuries. An unexpected alchemy of climate and materiality granted it such resilience. The preservation method parallels Ötzi's discovery in the Alps and Talon man in Denmark, both found under specific environmental conditions that naturally prevented decay. How does this preservation compare with other historical finds like the bog bodies of Northern Europe, and what unique qualities does it highlight about the medieval period? The close interplay of environmental conditions and burial materials provides us with unique insights into how societies interfaced with death and the afterlife. Yet, the climate at St. Bees was a world apart from Siberia's icy barrenness or the boggy landscapes of northern Europe. Here, the coastal winds and sea salt air created a unique microenvironment, one that preserved the body in a way foreign yet akin to nature's other tricks. It's a reminder of how different climates apply unique fingerprints on the preservation processes. In the wetlands of Lindau Moss, where the famously well-preserved Lindau man was found, acidic environments achieve preservation through a different chemical process. How exactly did the elements of wind, salt, and earth at St. Bees combine to forge such effective preservation, akin yet distinct from other mummified figures? As we delve deeper, we can't ignore the violent history etched into the bones of St. Bees man. His fractured jaw and ribs tell a story of a violent end, perhaps a battle, a crusade gone awry. Similar to Ötzi, who bore the scars of conflict with an arrowhead embedded in his shoulder, these injuries paint a grim reality of medieval life, where conflict and the shadow of war permeated even those remote regions. During the Northern Crusades, violence was a part of life for knights like Sir Anthony de Lucy, as campaigns against pagan Lithuanians and Christian Orthodox states mirrored in the Baltic. What does the skeletal evidence tell us about the daily dangers faced by individuals from this era, and how might his injuries inform us of his final days? Sir Anthony de Lucy, the enigmatic figure behind St. Bees man, lived during the Northern Crusades, a period marked by tumultuous change and war. The stories whispered through time are now painted across the bones and tales of his burial. Like the crusading efforts in the Baltic, where the Teutonic Order played a prominent role in the Christianization of pagan lands, exemplified in regions like Estonia and Latvia. De Lucy's life's narrative entwines with these broader historical events, casting light on the complex fabric of his era. What do the intersections of personal and political history reveal about the chaotic nature of the medieval world as individuals navigated religious fervor and territorial expansion? The Northern Crusades do not merely define political landscapes, but also weave deeply through personal destinies like de Lucy's, who participated in these campaigns targeting pagans in the Baltic region. Historical consciousness shapes every turn, every outcome, a testament to the intertwining of history and the personal. Each action, each battle changes not just lands, but individual lives, echoing into the present. This was a time when religious campaigns like the Wendyish Crusade, led by German and Danish forces, invaded the lands of the winds. How does this rich tapestry of the past inform our understanding of medieval society and its complex feudal structures? Returning to St. Bees man, we reflect on how the absence of embalming points to the Earth's natural capabilities meeting the necessities of medieval customs, inadvertently preserving a moment in time for us to explore today. This echoes the discovery of Talon man and other bog bodies, where natural preservation occurred without human intervention. It's a revelation of how accidentally, through local customs, history is safeguarded. Every layer of soil and shroud whispers forgotten rituals, waiting for rediscovery. How do these customs, whether practiced in Britain or across the bogs of Denmark and Germany, bridge us to a wider understanding of the past's cultural and social frameworks? The medieval context teaches about the community rituals surrounding death, reflecting deeply held societal values. At St. Bees, these practices have left a mark, urging us to delve into similarly preserved remains scattered across Europe's landscape, each carrying tales of its own era. The Talon man, with his noose still tightly fastened, echoes these customs with possible hints of ritual sacrifice akin to pre-Roman Iron Age traditions. What distinguishes St. Bees from other sites, and why might this singular body hold significant cultural insight into its period, when compared to findings from other historically rich sites like Lindau Moss or Northern Crusade battlefields? This journey unites biological preservation with cultural history, connecting us to a past still woven into the present. Natural mummification stands as a witness to history, charting the course of humanity with all its fortuities. The resonance with other historical discoveries like that of the Lindau man challenges our perception. Initially mistaken for a modern murder victim due to his lifelike preservation, from life to death and beyond. What other stories lie in wait, beneath the ground, silent yet potent in their quiet existence? The past reaches out, shaping the present silently yet profoundly. How does this presentation of human traces, as seen with St. B's man and his contemporaries, challenge our assumptions about the continuity of human experience across time and geography? In juxtaposition to intentional mummification, the fortuitous preservation scene at St. B's underlines nature's inadvertent role as guardian of history. Comparisons span far, from the bog preserves of northern Europe to the frozen landscapes preserving Ötzi, setting nature at the helm of historical safeguarding. It teaches us about the accidental guardianship, where nature takes the lead, preserving sporadic tales of past lives, guardianship of happenstance rather than design. How many more overlooked custodians lie hidden, like those uncovered in marshes and mosses, waiting for our discovery and study. From the echoes of nature's design, we find ourselves pondering the role of chance and concealment in the discovery of the preserved. It is often said that the earth keeps its secrets well hidden, and what more perfect guardians of time are there than the very elements that surround these hidden histories? The fog of the early morning clings to the lush landscape, whispering of the mysteries it shelters, reminiscent of discoveries like that of Lindau woman's and the peat bogs that housed the past so securely. As humans, we have explored remains where liquid blood survived the ages and asked ourselves, how many more secrets lie unseen beneath our feet in forgotten corners, both known and undiscovered? Each potential finding, whether in an untouched wilderness or beneath ancient stone, awaits discovery. Perhaps the answer lies in these untouched relics waiting patiently under the soil, each a time capsule of bygone eras. Amid such guardianship, one figure stands out, St. B's man, whose serene resting place held hidden secrets for centuries. Compare this with the discovery of Tolland man, mistaken for a recent watertight crime because of his pristine condition. Imagine the hushed whispers of a gentle breeze through an ancient church site, where spirits of history seem almost tangible. The mystery unraveling was set into motion during a routine archaeological dig at a medieval church site. It was an ordinary day for the excavators, a day that turned extraordinary when they stumbled upon the burial. They did not just find bones shrouded in centuries-old earth, but discovered a forensic anomaly that confounded scientific understanding. St. B's man became an enigma not just for his preserved state, but for what he could possibly teach us about the past and the intricate secrets that have held his form against the ravages of time. In the 1980s, this unearthed enigma became a lightning rod for experts, eager to unravel the intricacies behind such preservation. They drew parallels with contemporary findings and invoked old investigations, such as those of Ötzi's Copper Age context and those of northern Egypt's bog-like conditions. This was a time when technology was rapidly advancing, yet ancient secrets remained elusive. Scientists from different disciplines poured into the investigation, bringing together knowledge about chemistry, biology, and geology. They utilized cutting-edge techniques of the era, trying to decode the layers of history. Despite the considerable advances in technology and research, questions persisted about why this particular burial achieved such remarkable preservation. The archaeological world buzzed with theories and possibilities, each deeper exploration of the site revealing new puzzles to solve, akin to the meticulous investigations that surrounded other famous finds like Lindau man. Delving deeper into St. B's man's preservation, scientists focus on both natural and human factors embedded in his secretive resting place. As they hypothesize over potential causes, imagine the hushed tones of scholars contemplating various hypotheses. Was it the soil, the burial techniques, or perhaps certain environmental conditions? Among the perplexing questions they face, why did similar burials, like those during the Northern Crusades, not fare as well? Sledgehammer blows delivered by warriors such as those in the Prussian and Livonian Crusades juxtapose Street B's man's tranquil repose, hinting at the greater chaos of an era. What specific components of this site, so unlike the battlegrounds marred by history's crusades, contributed to such extraordinary preservation? This inquiry unearths not just historical findings, but a profound narrative about life nearly 700 years ago, speaking to us through the silence of centuries, whispering secrets we are only beginning to understand. Consider for a moment that St. B's man is not alone in the annals of these time-preserved anomalies. Other fascinating cases, like those preserved in the relentless Siberian permafrost, stand in stark contrast. These regions of perpetual cold, where groups such as the Teutonic Order waged parts of the Northern Crusades, serve as frozen snapshots in time. The Teutonic Knights, for instance, left marks on the Baltic landscape, yet nature's own preservation acts reveal far different narratives hidden in the icy depths. Could Cumbria's ancient funerary practices, now long forgotten, have played a part in this unforeseen preservation? A stark comparison to the cold that defies decay in far northern crusading lands? These questions invite deeper reflection on the incredible diversity of our Earth's environments and their unforeseen impact. Like the varied motives in a crusade, faith, conquest, survival, the environmental stories they preserve differ just as richly. The mystery only deepens. How could conditions allow preservation without the chilling embrace of Siberian-like freeze? In Cumbria's damp earth, what natural preservatives might weave this tapestry of protection against time, unwittingly deterring the chaos that echoed in the Baltic lands Sir Anthony once journeyed for the Northern Crusades? Could the unique composition of the soil, its pH balance, or microbiome aid in such preservation? A lighter parallel to the peat bogs where bodies like the Baltic's harsh climate's toll can be seen? These curiosities lead us to wonder, were these ancient burial practices designed with preservation in mind, or is this a marvel of serendipity, as arbitrary as crusades shifting over centuries? Science mines the past for clues, realizing these are not just relics, but bearers of tales yet fully unveiled, each potential chapter in the vast, unwritten book of human history. With advances in science, the enigma of St. B's man holds promise for further revelations. Techniques such as advanced DNA analysis and highly precise radiocarbon dating stand ready to peel back the layers of time, casting light on a medieval world that echoed with the clash of swords and cries of the Northern Crusades. What genetic secrets may lie within his very flesh, buried yet woven by history's wider web, centuries since popes like Alexander III sanctioned battles that shaped Sir Anthony's era through holy war? And with what accuracy might we date his final rest, possibly redefining known timelines of burial amidst crusade revelries and aftermaths? Science, with its relentless quest, offers a hopeful magnifier into history's depths. Each piece of data, like a lost note among the Teutonic and Livonian choirs, builds the symphony of evidence illuminating the tales of past and present. In the grand spectrum of medieval burials, was Street B's an extraordinary anomaly or part of a pattern, a secret echo of broader patterns set during Earth's storied past? The Northern Crusades beckon with familiar questions, chronicling religious doctrines, economic constraints, and societal needs that enveloped European lands in war-touched tides. Fishing out similar ideas reveals burials that could mirror acts of faith seen in earlier times, landing the ocean's shadows wide across Britain and beyond. Could Street B's man's unique preservation reflect customs or histories held in the tapestries woven by crusades and conversions? Each discovery comes bearing hints embedded deeply within histories of the Northern Crusades, reframing curiosities, like what these warriors once slaughtering for faith see when they close their eyes. In these crossroads of conjecture, does St. Bees reflect what was or what could have been amidst drying ink and faded pages? The Northern Crusades, casting their shadows wide, are interwoven into Sir Anthony de Lucy's life. Amidst conflicts, the campaigns conducted to Christianize Balts and Slavs entwine with faith's turbulent influence. Witness to the economic ambitions underpinning Teutonic campaigns, his resting form poignantly echoes a greater legacy, conflict and preservation in testament to history's scars. For here, amidst crusading knights like those riding paths curved by faith and conquest, we find reflection, a reminder of battles won, forgotten, faiths tested and tempered. What messages does history deliver when an ancient knight rests, while his blood still runs faint echoes reminiscent of Baltic battle hymns? The quiet between the beats is loud with possibility, honoring signs past preserved, and whispers across crusade ages, echoing still. In our odyssey across centuries, beneath layers of time and earth, discovering Street B's man asks us to confront modern narratives with reconciliation. The presence of Northern Crusade warriors, whose footsteps Sir Anthony trod, causes silence to weigh heavier, war songs etched invisibly on pilgrims. The Baltic lands, once stained with fervent clash of faith told in the chronicles, bear on today's understanding of the earth. As these silent markers confront us, their whispers speak between war and peace, beyond tenebrous mist. Each ancient site risks renewed honor, as artifacts deliver voices to a chorus, symphonies echoing human experience across time's tapestry. For now we listen, as history redefines the legacies we're left with, weaving ribbons across timelines, across thought. What legacy do they intend to leave beneath the whispers spoken by knights of both St. Anthony and all? Even amid remarkable scientific progress, nuanced questions about medieval burials, exemplified by cases like Street B's man, elude complete comprehension. The Northern Crusades leave footsteps no longer bearing all truths, a spectral reminder of missions spun toward heaven. The constant pursuit of knowledge, tied to crusade whispers, becomes an endless journey, reflected in every then to every now. Each discovery prompts future centuries into examination. Will our current interpretations withstand their questions? Just as Sir Anthony rests, frozen in time's embrace, centuries to come query shadows, specters behind us, what are captured as momentous footnotes of the age. Only time tells of prophets' answers, how our understanding, striving through tomorrow, unearths truth, and whether we become, like lost notes scored by so many before in pursuit of elusive harmony, until the earth breaks anew.